Welcome, class, to our very first online lecture for Spanish here at Benjamin Franklin Middle School. Well, the page you have in front of you is an example of Cornell Notes. I would like for you all to kind of start using this for the lectures that we do online here. So on the left side of your page, you should have a section where you're going to write questions that you come up with during the lecture. So you can go back and answer these. And the cool thing about these online lectures is that you can watch this video as many times as you want until you get it down. In class, you may be kind of nervous to tell me to go back and look at something again, but here you have the opportunity to do that as much as you want. So here are your questions that you can ask, and then over here in this section is where you write your notes. And down at the bottom is where you'll kind of summarize everything at the end, kind of maybe just a little reflection. Let's go ahead and get started by looking at our objective for the day, which is students will talk about everyday activities in Spanish. And a good statement to start out with is los fines de semana me gusta, meaning on the weekends I like to. And let's go ahead and look with some of the vocabulary that may go along with that. So we have a few verbs here that you can use to talk about what you like to do on the weekend. And whenever I say these Spanish words, I would really like for you to repeat them with me so that you get the practice of saying them. So let's just start with the first one here. Estudiar, descansar, practicar deportes, tocar el piano, trabajar, bailar, hablar por teléfono. Okay? So that means to study. Estudiar is to study. Descansar is to rest. Practicar deportes is to play sports. Tocar el piano, to play the piano. Trabajar means to work. Bailar means to dance. And hablar por teléfono means to talk on the phone. So putting your new vocabulary to practice. And a good question for that would be, ¿A dónde vas los fines de semana? So where do you go on the weekends? And a good way to answer this question is just to say, I'm going, or I go. And to do that, you're going to use the yo form of the verb ir, which you can find right here, and it's voy. And this is an irregular verb that we're going to dive into tomorrow in tomorrow's lecture online. But first, just know that voy means I'm going or I go. So where do you go on the weekends? First, voy al baile. I go to the dance. Voy a la casa de blank. And now this one's interesting because I've told you before that they don't really use apostrophe S's in Spanish, meaning that there's no ownership. So you can't say, I go to Jorge's house. In Spanish, you would say, voy a la casa de Jorge. So literally, I go to the house of Jorge. Okay? Let's look at the next one. Voy al colegio. Voy al ensayo. I go to rehearsal. Voy al entrenamiento. I go to practice. Voy al gimnasio. I go to the gym. Voy a la reunión. I go to the meeting. Voy al trabajo. I go to work. And just a few examples of what you could say, in writing up here we have voy al colegio, meaning I'm going to school, and voy a estudiar, meaning I'm going to study. Alright, so let's put this into practice. Here's a few more vocabulary words that you could say if you're going on the weekend. Now, obviously it's too cold right now to go to the pool, but these are words that you'll need to learn. So here's a good question. ¿Qué haces los fines de semana? What do you do on the weekends? Well, voy a la piscina. Okay, I go to the pool. Voy a la iglesia. I go to church. Voy al gimnasio. I go to the gym. Or voy a la playa. I go to the beach. Here's a question that you can ask somebody what they're going to do. So it says, ¿Qué hace Alondra cuando hace mal tiempo? So what does Alondra do when the weather is bad? We already know this sentence because we've learned this already, but le gusta escuchar música. You could say she likes to listen to music. Or, using the new verb we're talking about, ir, no va a ninguna parte. She doesn't go anywhere. And remember, ir means to go. And here's another good sentence. ¿Qué haces los fines de semana? What do you do on the weekends? Well, los sábados, okay, so on Saturdays, cuando hace buen tiempo, so when the weather is nice, you'll see up here, whenever it says cuando hace mal tiempo, we know that mal means bad, so when the weather is bad, and down here, cuando hace buen tiempo, the weather's good. Okay, here's that word again, voy con mis amigos al parque. So I go with my friends to the park. Now you try it. Okay, I want you to answer the following question and be prepared to share it in class. So on your Cornell notes, this is one of the questions that you need to have out to the left. Okay, ¿Qué haces los fines de semana? Answer in complete sentences and give at least 2 examples of what you do on the weekends. I hope you've enjoyed this very first lecture that we've had. It's been short and sweet. If you need to go back and see anything, you're more than welcome to rewind it and look at it as many times as needed. And I will see you tomorrow in class. Please be prepared to discuss what you've learned today.